What is up, lads and lasses? Back at it again, and right off the bat, this episode is the best one we've gotten since episode 1. And immediately, the dream sequence. I absolutely loved this dream sequence. We are actually getting proper, creative, storytelling. And this sequence was so full of symbolism. As you can see, that plaque in the back is full of the ancient Turkic writing with their ancient characters. And then Orhan is met by these heroes of his past, Orhans and Alp Arslan, these huge figures of the Turkish history and ancestry, the people who kind of made massive marks and step forward for the Turks. So this was incredible. And they're just talking to him, asking him about what his path is, what his goal is. The path is tough, and is he going to be a man worthy of such a burden? It was just so well done. You can see left to right, all these kind of stages of Turkish history, even going back to the roots where you can see this guy in the middle, the one to the right middle, he's looking very Mongolian, and that's because the Mongols, the Turks, and Koreans share a kind of ancestral Central Asian roots. And then you can see all the way to the right, the Muslim, Islam being a huge part of, the Turkish culture. And after, I think, around Oghuz time or Alp Arslan's time. So it was incredible, and the level of detail they paid attention to as well. They have the symbols of the clans of the past. I mean, it was incredible. Makes me really happy because it gives us a level of depth and thought for the main character that we haven't had in a very long time. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. Mert does a very good job acting in these very dynamic and different situations. He has a lot of range. Next up, I really love this sheep carrying race that they did. It's nice to see these little interactions with the tribe. It makes the tribe feel much more alive and gives the characters, a chance to show their personalities and show their little intricacies. So yeah, I like world building. That's really important. Nilüfer must have GPS tracking on Orhan. She can find him wherever he goes. So he could be in the middle of the freaking go-by desert stranded and she'll pop up. The guy who should have been playing Orhan Bey, Dumrul, or the shepherd, whatever his name is, gets caught as a spy, and it turns out he was actually spying, not really spying, but supporting Osman and Orhan. He disagrees with the Chavdar tribe kind of obeying Mongol orders, and he's kind of rebelling against that, which is pretty cool. He's definitely going to have a cool love thing with Halime. Timurtash back at it with his antics. The guy is goated. He's hilarious. Bro told Flavius, he's telling these guys to cook the meat raw. He wants the meat raw. He wants the meat bloody. And Flavius is like, I heard a rumor once that you ate a man. And he goes, that's a lie. I ate him raw. Pause. Now this part I didn't quite get. This is kind of almost an attempt at Timurtash's life. How is it possible? How is it possible that one of the most important Mongol governors, surrounded by guards, is able to have a shot fired at him like it's nothing? I think he should have been a bit more alarmed, beat up some of his Mongol no-cares and be like, what the hell are you guys doing? What are y'all patrolling? Anyways, it just turned out to be a message from Orhan saying, hey, I'm gonna come over and talk. And you can tell Flavius is so fed up with kind of being temperamental and how they interact with Orhan and the Turks. They're being diplomatic. Timurtash is being super reserved and chill. Timurtash even lets a few shots just kind of go, Orhan and Shaheen Bey, they kind of take shots and little jokes and everything on him, and he lets it slide. Obviously he stands his ground, but he lets it slide. He's kind of chill about it. But Flavius is man, burning with anger. This was hilarious. The giant Hatun apparently has authority over the daughters of Malhun. I guess maybe she's kind of almost like a pseudo parental figure, someone that takes care of Malhun's duties, and she gets a bit of authority with that. And she's telling Halime Hatun hey, you're gonna work just like the rest of us. You can't just sit around with an arrow guarding. So I think it was good. This was a good scene. This scene where Orhan and Aladdin are fighting was really good. It was super tense. really dramatic, and they sold it. They got me. I did not know it was a plan. I didn't even think it was a plan. I just thought that, I don't know what's gonna happen with this tribe, right? This great division, this great split. So the fact that they were even able to get like the audience involved, that's good. I like that. I like when there are like certain plots and plans that surprise us too. Like not everything is just spelled out. This was a wonderful scene with Osman and Cerkutai. You know, Cerkutai goes to Osman and asks him, hey, like, there's a lot of, there's division in the tribe and a lot of calamities occurring. And Osman's like, listen, you know, I'm not immortal. I'm not going to be here forever. I need my sons to find their way. I need my sons to find their own way, you know, which is good. You know, he's leaving a legacy. He's leaving down people to take over, inherit his post. And he has to be able to have that confidence, practice that confidence that people are going to take over and reign justly after him. He can't like always be there to save the day, always be there to solve every single problem. Because then what happens? What happens when he's gone? We might as well just start calling this guy Mr. Rizzler. Like, this guy is Mr. CEO Girl. He is like risen up Fatima like an absolute king. I mean, bro, buddy got the moves for real. He can't fight. He can't really be a good diplomat. But this is his specialty. Right in front of Yeet Alp 2, who we know has eyes for Fatima as well. I mean, this guy is bold. I mean, homeboy got her chuckling too. So, Cerkutai and Boran at this point don't know that Alaaddin and Orhan splitting was all planned, right? And this is where I have a big problem with Malhun's character. I mean, the favoritism she's showing is not even funny. I feel so bad for Alaaddin at this point. Because Alaaddin, the guy who became like, he's taken, you know, the place of Bey for Osman at this moment. And he's literally said, guys, we're going to exile Orhan to Karajaysar or whatever the castle is, right? And that's an order. That's an order. And she straight up goes, Malhun goes to the two like most trusted and seasoned and veteran Alps and directly asks them to go against the order of the tribal leader at this moment. And that's just favoritism. Like, it's insane to me, bro. I really hated the scene. Guys, I think we broke a record. I think something interesting's happened. Like somebody please go check the sky if it's still blue, because I mean, we got close, but Gonja didn't cry. Gonja did not have a crying scene, at least on screen. I'm sure she cried a little bit off screen, right? You know, that's how they have, like, she's the main water source of the Kai tribe. But something interesting is going on, you know. Once again, I really appreciate how the level of detail they put into every bit of fight choreography in the show. Even these little tiny battles where it's like Orhan versus like 5, you know, Byzantine warriors, has like nice choreography. Every single fight looks different, which is awesome. It's not the same 2 or 3 moves and one taps. So I really appreciate that. Now, the only thing that kind of boggles my mind a little bit is number 1, Nilüfer, right? She was supposed to be this Byzantine princess. Remember, like, when they first introduced her, like, early in season 4, she had, like, blonde hair, blue eyes, that kind of thing. Like, that's a Byzantine princess. It signifies that she's a bit of a foreigner. And then all throughout, like, this season and the season before it, one of the main themes is that, like, yeah, Nilüfer is not really a Turk, not really from the Kai tribe, is not really accustomed to our traditions. But this is so weird because they casted 2 times. They casted someone who looks like the quintessential, you know, Turk. Like, you know, brown hair or brown eyes, black hair, olive skin color, that kind of thing, right? So physically she looks like a Turk. And then also, character-wise, she knows all the traditions, all the customs, everything. Like, we didn't get to see her learning the customs, right? And then the third thing is, she fights really, really well. You know how they have, like, the Bajilad, which is, like, the female fighting unit, which should only be used in case of, you know, deep emergency, like the most backup plan. But she fights as well as any other Alp. And my question is how? Because she was raised as a Byzantine princess in a palace most of her life. She's only been with Orhan for, like, maybe, at this point, what? Like, 5 to 7 years or something like that? And it's like, how did she have the time to learn how to fight better than freaking, I don't know, like Baisungur? It's kind of crazy to me. At the very least, they should have given us some kind of backstory, training, so on and so forth. And then also just the casting, I don't know, it's just it really throws off the immersion for me. That's a problem. There's a lot of like character plot holes, but it is what it is. Now let me tell you guys, these absolute freaks of nature, when they showed up on screen for the first time with their crazy looking armor, crazy facial features, and like freaking physical monster demeanor, oh my gosh, I got goosebumps. Finally, they brought in interesting and cool, like ravenous characters. I'm so happy, man. These guys are monsters. I gotta tell you, blah 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 Alp and Khalid or whatever the hell his name is, were not doing it for me. They look like NPCs. But these guys right here, beasts. And actually this might be to the detriment of Orhan, because these guys are so like aura farmers. Orhan kind of looks tiny and small compared to them. But hey, whatever, it is what it is. So Timurtash goes to, I forget the name of the castle, Yeni Hasir or something like that. And you know, aura farms as usual. But here's my problem with this scene. The Mongols conquer the castle, right? And this is awesome. I love seeing Mongol conquests and all that kind of thing, but they conquered it in like 20 seconds, and the scene was just Mongols entering the castle, you know, a quick little fight scene, that's it. Which, fine, okay, fine. We don't need like an intricate conquest where they, you know, throw boulders to the castle and throw ladders. No, okay, we don't need that. This was fine. My only problem with this is that we don't get a lot of opportunities to see Mongols conquering a castle, or Mongols in a big battle in general, like how we had like the Kurulus Osman Season 2 battle. We don't get that a lot, right? And this is the first time that we see like, you know, hundreds of Mongols, you know, extras in the set. They really should have spent a little more time really showing this scene in more detail. Like, I wanted to see some more action, some more fighting, some more brutal tactics. And I really wanted to see some more, basically I wanted to see more of the Mongols doing their thing and conquering the castle. I wish they gave the scene a little more time to rest. But unfortunately it was like so quick, it just felt like your average Kurulus Osman Season 6 conquest. And this was such a cool scene. Again, I've been loving these camp scenes just because of the grand scope of the scenes themselves, right? Look at how many Alps there are on screen. Look at the wide camera they get to use because they're actually on a proper large set. This right here makes you really feel immersed, makes you really feel like there's a giant world around you instead of that same forest over and over. And then I love this because you see the castle in the background. It's not CGI. Maybe it is CGI. That's some damn good CGI if it's CGI. But anyways, it's just cool to see them on big sets. And another example of this, right? We even have like inside of Bursa, inside of the, I think this is like the military grounds, the garrison area where the troops are just kind of stationed. I mean, this was cool, right? Tekfur Saros has a great big speech. You have like 50 to 100 soldiers standing there. It's good. It's good to see that grand scope. Now, the only thing they need to do now is these guys look like they're a threat, but every single time we see them fighting anybody, they just get destroyed like, you know, they're freaking made of paper. This was the funniest scene of the entire episode. I was cracking up when I saw Homeboy crying like a baby because Timurtash whooped them. I mean, that was hilarious. And the thing is, we didn't even get to... Okay, like, this scene would have been more powerful if we got to see the level of damage and destruction that the Mongols did, and if they spent more time showing us the brutality, right? Like, this scene would have been more powerful, but because they didn't show that, this is just hilarious. It's like when you take a little baby's toy and he starts crying to his mom. I mean, and the way he was crying was freaking hilarious. He gave Gonja Hatun a break. Again, another beautiful example of a beautiful shot with large sets. Now, this was a really lousy, poor executed attempt at trying to give, what's his name? Kara Ali? I can never remember his name for the life of me. He's such a nobody NPC bot character. Some backstory, right? It's like they shoved into the middle of the script, hey, we need to give this guy some backstory. Oh yeah, let's just make some story about his kid being kidnapped by the Byzantines and his wife dead. Like, bro, there was no emotional impact whatsoever. You know why? Because it feels so like it was shoehorned into the story. There was no indication for the first 4 episodes at all that this dude was dealing with any kind of demons or backstory or trauma like this at all. Like, if they wanted to make this more, like, you know, hard hitting or feel like it wasn't just stitched into the script last second, they should have shown in the first like 3 episodes him having like a really nasty hate toward the Byzantine, right? After like a Byzantine soldier gets like wrecked, he throws in a few stabs just for the fun of it, right? That shows that he would hate. He has seething rage and hate in his eyes, and like we could have wondered like why does he hate them so much, right? I get that they're enemies, but this guy is like hating them on another level. And then they show this backstory, but no, they just gave this bot some backstory. This guy is like, bro, I'm sorry, man, I can't do it with this guy. Like, look at bro's Ice Cube level of reaction to his wife dying and his kid being kidnapped. This right here was one of my favorite scenes because it's, again, another instance of the Kurulus the Kurulus Orhan production crew, scriptwriters, and cinematographers performing creative storytelling and creative cinematography right in front of our faces. It was really good because, you know, normally what would happen in these shows is that they'll spend like 5 minutes talking about what they're gonna do, and then the next like 10 minutes showing exactly what they spoke about, what they were going to do. But what they did here was, and this is like a classic kind of formula or classic approach to like stitching exposition with action, they showed everything that they were talking about, doing it in real time. So like in the camp, Orhan was like, yeah, we're going to basically smoke out the Byzantine warriors in this tunnel. While he was saying that, it shows the next day simultaneously of them actually performing that action. And I thought that was incredible. And then in this shot right here, Governor Shadows gets absolutely blown to bits. I mean, he's still going to be alive, but he's probably going to have like a scar and some more bitterness toward about him. So that would be interesting. Bro, they did this guy so freaking dirty. I mean, if I was this guy, I would be worse than Kurulus at this point. I would straight up go and stab like Osman, Orhan, and Alaaddin in the back. Like, bro is a like true warrior with passion in his heart for fight for the Kai tribe and expand their borders and whatnot. And this guy is a real dude. I mean, he is a good character with a good heart, strong ambitions, strong warrior, strong leadership. He did all this planning, and then they just come tell him, "Hey, buddy, you're off your post. I'm taking your duties away from you." Like, that is so freaking wrong. And the way they did it too, like why? Like, why could Alaaddin have just filled him in on what was going on? Like, hey, listen, here's the plan. Things have changed. We're doing this, and this because of this, and that. And then, like, at least, like, explain to him the situation. But nah, they just straight up tell him, hey, buddy, yeah, you're done. You're cooked, buddy. Yeah, just get out of here. Go do your own thing. Like, it's so freaking wrong. I don't blame this guy for becoming a villain. I can't lie. And once again, I don't know, like, someone needs to go take a bat and you know, attach save the cat, you know, the script writing manual, and smash Bozdag in the head with it so that he can actually ingest information about how to properly write a character, especially when it comes to a villain. They keep making this guy look weak. All he's doing is crying, moaning, getting beat up. Like, this is when he hears the news about how they found the tunnels or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, man. What are they gonna do with this guy, bro? Like, I feel no threat towards him. The only threat about him is that he's gonna steal your girl, bro. He's stealing Geeked Alps' girl, Fatima. That's it. That's the only thing he's been successful at, is rizzing up women. Bro, this guy's such a bot. And lastly, we have Osman confronting Alaaddin and Orhan. And it's so weird to me because he like feigns being mad at them, and then he reveals, nah, they did exactly what he would have done, and he's proud of them. But he literally mentions that they took down Shaheen Bey as a commander, like unjustly, and then he just smiles and laughs about it. I'm like, what? This is one of the scenes that really shows Merit's range as an actor. You can tell that while he was reading his lines, the horse was acting up and like kind of like going off script in a way. And instead of like faltering and, you know, stopping and cutting again and restarting, he plays along with it. He did a good job of kind of like impromptu playing along with this kind of interruption to the scene, and then just continuing on with what he said. So that's some good range right there. And this very final scene is basically, for some reason, they like knock Orhan out and then kidnap him. And then the funny thing is, like, why does he not have a mark from the little, I don't know, thing they shot to his neck that knocked him out? But anyways, it doesn't really matter. He talks with the Whitebeards. The Whitebeards just basically kind of give him some wisdom, and they kind of test Orhan as well. And it ends with him getting some treasures or like trusts that might help him in his journey. And that's about it. So overall, I would say strong episode. I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. Great episode. Did a lot of great things, a lot of good action, a lot of good cinematography, good story development, character development, except for Flavius. And yeah, it was pretty cool, and I really look forward to the next episode. Well, that's it from me, guys. See ya.